YouTube family, what's going on? So I just watched this video of it was an interview from a pretty well-known R&B singer, and he was speaking about his the singer's name is Sammie. Some of y'all might remember him. He had a song back in like the early 2000s that was pretty big. But anyways, so he was talking about his mother, who was a victim of gang stalking, and because of it, she ended up killing somebody. She ended up being charged with second-degree murder. And so I'm gonna insert that clip, and then when we come back, I'm gonna talk about the dangers of just looking at it from the physical. So I'm gonna play this clip for you real quick.
She was being followed, felt like her phones was hacked, televisions, like it's just something that just started to happen. Her behavior, her mental, thank you, her psyche started to change about, I would say, 4 years ago. And I didn't understand it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what she was talking about. If you want to go down a rabbit hole of research, there's something called gang stalking, where it's just do your research or whatever on that term. But yeah, it just became disturbing because myself nor my siblings understood when she would call and say, I'm being followed every day, and y'all need to come see how your mom's living in Orlando. And bro, it was so bad, we would come down there, dog, and she would like make you turn your phone off before you walk in her house. And in 2022, I remember talking to my therapist, and I said, yo, like the relationship with my mom just started to kind of decline because that's all she would talk about. It was never just like, how was your show or how you doing? And it was just that, just paranoia. And I was very disturbed. And I was always afraid that she would get hurt or hurt someone. And January 17th, I want to say, 2023, I got the worst phone call of my life. My mom was in jail. She said she had sent some like warning shots off into the sky because somebody was outside her house, right? So I'm like, okay, so why are you in jail? And she did have a bond, so I was able to bond her out. And I had a show in Arizona. By the time I had got back to Arizona, from Arizona to Atlanta, you know how you get to where you're about to land and your phone starts to back work and you can download photos? One of my siblings, I think it's my sister, sent me a mugshot of my mom. And it read, like, you know, Angela Baxter, arrested in Orlando, Florida. That's where I went to high school at for second-degree murder.
All right, so as y'all can clearly see, you know, she was definitely a victim of gang stalking. I'm glad that he did the interview to kind of bring light to the situation. The only thing is, you know, he told people to Google what gang stalking is. And like I said, I spent 5 years researching and just scouring the internet for information on it. And most of the information, most of the biggest gang stalking YouTube pages and stuff like that with the hundreds of thousands of views and all of that stuff leads to, you know, I'm a victim of the government, and you know, they put me on a kill list and all of this stuff, you know. When you look at it that way, it causes people to respond and react how she reacted. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like you're an enemy of the state and that your life is constantly in danger because of the government and random people, it puts you in a state of fear and panic, and you're constantly on edge. You're constantly on guard, thinking that somebody is trying to physically harm you. And that's what the internet will tell you. And my mind frame was in the same place, you know, my earlier years, when I first started experiencing this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm reading all the stuff on the internet, and it made me feel like I needed to be on guard at all times. Nobody really spoke about it being what it is, which is a spiritual thing that manifests in the physical. You know what I'm saying? But it's dangerous to look at it that way, because like I said, when you're looking at everybody as an enemy, you're constantly on the defense, and things like this can happen, which is what Satan wants. He wants us to act out and harm somebody, or act out and be put into a mental institution, or kill somebody and throw our life away, so our destiny can be, taken from us and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And my own personal belief, I can't prove this, but just looking at some of the mass shootings that have happened over the years, not all of them, but I personally believe that some of them were done by people who were gang stalked and just didn't know or realize what was actually going on. And they felt like because random people were attacking them, that they started attacking random people, and that's what this can do to you if you aren't really aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to get in the word of God. When you start to read the Bible, you will see that many of the people in the Bible that God chose to use, many of them suffered through this. It is actual spiritual persecution. I said it on this channel many times. Since I started this channel, that has always been my viewpoint on it. Because like I've said in other videos, and I don't say this like I'm special or something, but God has given me the gift to see things that other people can't see spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to see when a spirit goes from one person to the next person and causes them to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I try to stress on this channel to let y'all know that these people aren't our enemies. Now, yes, you have certain witches and warlocks who will go out to public spaces where you are at. They will follow you around and they will send spirits into these people to do their bidding. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody that you come in contact with is just signed up to come against you. I'm telling you, it is a spirit controlling them, And when you look at it that way, you tend to operate with more grace and mercy. You know what I'm saying? When you are being attacked. Now, I'm not saying every day is going to be your greatest. I've been going through this for a long time, and there's been plenty of times that I have responded in the flesh and not in the spirit. Plenty of times, more times than I would like to admit. You know what I'm saying? Because, this stuff can get heavy. You know what I'm saying? Being constantly attacked 24 hours a day, whether you're awake or in your sleep, it can get heavy. But if you stay in the word of God, you apply the word of God to your life, and you do some fasting and prayer, it tends to get a little easier to maneuver through. So I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach, man. Please avoid, these channels that try to push this whole narrative of blacklist and just all of that stuff that keeps you on edge and in fear and panic, man. Avoid that stuff, bro. It is garbage. It is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It is a spiritual battle that you are fighting. And if you are not careful, you'll respond in the flesh when you need to be attacking in the spirit. So I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. God bless you.